What if I told you, you may have already died? Not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally. And the strangest part is that you would never know. Most people think death is something that happens to them, a moment, a line, a final breath. But every description of death comes from the living. No one has ever returned with proof of what it feels like to stop existing. So here's a question. Can consciousness ever experience its own end? Think about a dream. While you're inside it, the dream feels real. You don't know you're dreaming. You don't question the rules. You simply experience whatever happens next. Then you wake up, and suddenly the entire reality you were experiencing disappears. Not because it never existed, but because your consciousness moved beyond it. What if death is something like that? Not a destination, not a place, not even an ending, but a transition so complete that the previous reality becomes inaccessible. A chapter closed so completely that the reader can never return to it. If that sounds impossible, consider this. Every night you lose consciousness. Every night your awareness disappears. And every morning you accept the return of consciousness without fully understanding where it went. Perhaps consciousness is far stranger than we give it credit for, or can it only experience continuation? Imagine you're driving home. The light turns green. You move forward. A truck runs the red light. In one version of reality, you never make it home. In another, you slam the brakes just in time. You survive. From the perspective of everyone around you, both outcomes are possible. But from your perspective, you only ever experience the version where you're still here, still thinking, still wondering. Near-death experiences have fascinated humanity for generations. People describe tunnels, lights, voices, peace, confusion. Some report seeing their lives flash before their eyes. Others report nothing at all. But perhaps the most interesting question isn't what people see. It's what happens if they don't die, or what happens if they do. Imagine consciousness as a story. Every page after your final page can never be read by you. So if there are many possible endings, wouldn't the only ending you could ever experience be the one where the story continues? Not because you're immortal, but because consciousness cannot witness its own absence. Years ago, I was shot at. Nothing happened. Life continued. But every now and then, I wonder, what if reality is stranger than we think? What if somewhere there exists a version of events where that story ended differently? And if it did, would I have any way of knowing, or would consciousness simply continue following the path where it remained conscious? This isn't science. This isn't proof. It's a question, a thought experiment, a mystery. Maybe near-death experiences are exactly what we think they are. Maybe they aren't. Maybe death is the end. Maybe it isn't. But if consciousness can only experience itself, then the greatest mystery may not be what happens after death. The greatest mystery may be whether we can ever know. And if we can't, how many times have we already crossed paths with possibilities we'll never remember?